Hey, what's happening, everybody? This is That Man Trip on behalf of No Cooldown Podcast, and we had an abrupt update, as it were, on The Last of Us multiplayer, The Last of Us Online, The Last of Us Factions multiplayer, whatever you want to call it. We've had an update from Naughty Dog that it's been canceled. It's done. RIP. It's dead in the dirt. It's finished. Finito. Pushing daisies, 6 feet deep, swimming with the fishes. Again, any way you want to phrase it, it's done. We have the statement that just came out a few minutes ago from Naughty Dog. I'll read it down here. We realize many of you have been anticipating news around the project that we've been calling The Last of Us Online. There's no easy way to say this. We've made the incredibly difficult decision to stop development on that game. We know this news will be tough for many, especially our dedicated Last of Us Factions community who have been following our multiplayer ambitions ardently. We're equally crushed at the studio as we were looking forward to putting it in your hands. We wanted to share with you some background of how we came to this decision. The multiplayer team has been in pre-production with this game since we were working on The Last of Us Part 2, crafting an experience we felt was unique and had tremendous potential. As the multiplayer team iterated on their concept for The Last of Us Online during this time, their vision crystallized and the gameplay got more refined and satisfying, and we were enthusiastic about the direction in which we were headed. Ah, man, this shit sucks. Gotta read the rest of it though. In ramping up to full production, the massive scope of our ambition became clear. To release and support The Last of Us Online, we'd have to put all of our studio resources behind supporting post-launch content for years to come, severely impacting development on future single-player games, so we had two paths in front of us. Become a solely live service game studio or continue to focus on single-player narrative games that have defined Naughty Dog's heritage. We are immensely proud of everyone at the studio that touched this project. The learnings and investments in technology from this game will carry into how we develop our projects and will be invaluable in the direction we are headed as a studio. We have more than one ambitious brand new single player game we're working on here at Naughty Dog, and we cannot wait to share more about what comes next when we're ready. So that's kind of the news heard around the world here. In my honest opinion, the writing was kind of on the wall when we saw I'm pretty sure there was Naughty Dog layoffs from earlier this year. There was just a lot of stuff that was happening across the board, and yeah, it's sad. It's sad. It sucks. This sucks. I can't shape it up more than, you know what I'm saying, more than it is right now. It is what it is, but it sucks. It sucks. I just wanted to double check. Yeah, like there were, October there was a whole layoff. I think it was like a bunch of contracted developers and just a whole nother wave. As soon as we saw the layoffs and saw that the multiplayer portion of the project was going to be put on ice, in my humble opinion, I knew it's in the pit of my stomach. It was the beginning and the end. I didn't want it to be, but it sadly was. And this is such a tough thing because, again, I love when we get some surprising packages in single player experiences. Again, probably two of the most fun experiences that I've seen in the past 20 years in gaming. And I only say this because I'm still youngish, but still, at least in my time, came from single player experiences. One, Call of Duty Zombies came from the single player, which is an add-on mode on Call of Duty on World at War. And this game, Last of Us Multiplayer Factions, came from The Last of Us, OG game. And with some surprising things, got a lot of good support. It was a really, really impactful, enticing game mode. I was very, very, I had fun with that, man. I had so much fun with it, and to know it was going to get developed, it was going to be a fun time. I was really looking forward to it, but damn it, it feels like everything I put some support in dies in some way, or at least 90% of it. There's been too many things that I've supported that died at this point. That's a personal gripe, but that's beside the point. There's just, I feel like there's a problem with multiplayer in Sony's ranks. I think they can't get a first-party multiplayer game right. Not necessarily right, but out to the public. That's not their focus. PlayStation's wheelhouse has always been single-player, first-party IP. That's been the majority of what their output's been, especially over this past decade. And I feel like they're having such a difficult time trying to capture that. And they've been pitting it in a lot of different places. Again, Uncharted multiplayer kind of went away. Uncharted's not really a thing anymore unless Naughty Dog is going to bring that back. And in that case, who knows? That could be some type of thing. But I don't think it would sit as well with the general population of gamers and the casual folks as a Last of Us Factions will. Just by the weight of the franchise now, I feel like in the gaming space and in the general entertainment space, The Last of Us is a bigger name than Uncharted at this point to casuals because of the show, because of, just how big the IP has gotten. I feel like maybe it might not hit the level of consistent users and concurrent, player rates that, again, that Naughty Dog would have with Last of Us than an Uncharted game. And then obviously, you can just look at their track record. They're trying to get Bungie under the wing. Bungie's not doing the best right now, so they might get absorbed. So they were trying to get some multiplayer expertise from Bungie and just trying to get some type of lessons to build a multiplayer game at Sony in general, and they couldn't find it. They brought, again, there was a report from Jason Schreier a few months ago as well. That was the exact case. They brought Bungie folks in to kind of test and see what were the constraints of, if this is going to be a live service game, how viable would it be? What's the plan behind the gameplay and behind the systems that would make it a really living, breathing experience, not just a one-off multiplayer offshoot mode that they can't make money from. And they saw a lot of gaps in what it could do. And I feel like that was also another big problem. You can't force it into something that it's not. And I just see it as that. I see it as, just a multiplayer, solid core mode. You have a lot of good stuff. But again, in this day and age, I feel like Sony are very, very keen on having a live service game that can sustain it, and it's first party. I feel like that's part of the reason why they fought so hard for the Call of Duty thing to not be, to be as partisan as possible whenever it changed hands and is now owned by Xbox. I think that's why they bought Bungie. They needed that multiplayer experience for their first party, and this could have been a great shot at it. This could have been a great shot to get that in, but sadly, it just didn't hit well. Just didn't hit well, and we're back to the drawing board, man. I really wanted this to come to pass, but something in the gut should have told you this was not coming. It was not coming out, and it sucks. It's a pain in the ass. I don't know what's going to be next. Most likely Last of Us Part 3 or just whatever offshoot DLC. And again, I'm going to be excited for those single player experiences. Absolutely. Last of Us has earned some credit in the bank for their single player. That's the bread and butter, of course. But a part of me can't lie here. I can't sit here and lie and say, "Oh, I'm not disappointed" or whatever. I'm fully disappointed. This is the biggest thing I was looking forward to from a Last of Us perspective. And yeah, I don't know if we'll ever see anything multiplayer from The Last of Us again, honestly. And now that they found a way to kind of not necessarily circumvent it, but add different content that's not necessarily multiplayer, the roguelike elements. We saw it with the new Last of Us 2 remastered that's coming through. I can bet you money in the future iterations that's going to be something that's, probably put forth in the Call of Duty, not Call of Duty, in the God of War DLC that just came out that has roguelike elements that's going to add replayability. And they might opt that way as kind of a strategy to not go full multiplayer in the future. And so I don't know if we'll ever see Last of Us multiplayer again. Honestly, at this stage, I don't know if we can ever see it again. Just tough. But let me know what you think of Last of Us Factions multiplayer getting canceled in the comment section below. What you expected for the game. Are you excited for the game? Where Naughty Dog will continue and pick up now. How does Sony feel that another potential multiplayer project isn't really going through, and they might have to go back to the drawing board themselves? Let me know in the comment section below. We gonna get up out of here. This has been That Man Trip. This has been No Cooldown Podcast with a quick little offshoot one. But yeah, we'll be back with more episodes, more videos. Stay tuned. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the comment section, hit the share button as well, hit the bell notifications as well. And yeah, we will keep rocking, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.